You are Locked On Knicks POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports New York on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, an amazing comeback, an amazing overtime, an amazing victory for the Knicks. Game one over the Celtics in overtime. 108-105, the final score. Huge three-pointers, huge three-point defense, tremendous defense overall, specifically down the stretch in the fourth quarter and in the extra session. Again, 108-105. What a win for the Knicks. And they grab home court from Boston. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. Spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. Glad to have you aboard. Please follow me on X at Jay Berman, Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Knicks postcast, both on the Locked On Sports New York YouTube channel and the Locked On Knicks podcast feed. The postcast gives you a place to hang out after every single game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your very first year.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right, it was quite a night in Boston. At one point, the Knicks trailed by 20, and you can bet a lot of Knicks cashed in their chips. A lot of Knicks fans, that is, cashed in their chips, assuming that this one was over. Not so fast. The Knicks did it with defense, specifically on the three ball, but late, including a steal of an inbound pass with 3 seconds remaining with a shot for the Celtics to tie the game. Mikal Bridges with the steal on the inbounds pass, sealing the win for New York. Again, 108-105. We'll get to the stats coming up. One stat we need to start with, however, is the fact that Boston, it's really 2 stats. Boston shot, get this, folks, 60 three-pointers, and they missed 45 of them. That's an NBA playoff record for three-point misses in a game. I'll say it again. 45. And again, a lot of that credit goes to the Knicks for their three-point defense. The Knicks ended the third quarter, started the fourth quarter, get this, on a 31-11 run. At one point, the Celtics missed 14 of 18 shots. Again, a phenomenal run to get it to even for the Knicks. Meanwhile, as for the numbers, plenty of good ones. OG and Jalen, as we said, were brilliant. They both pumped in 29. But again, 2 brilliant defensive plays from Bridges, one in the fourth quarter, one in overtime, and the huge 3-ball he hit in the corner in that extra session. Remember, folks, Bridges only hit 3 field goals the entire game, yet made his presence felt when it mattered most. So a game ball to Mikal Bridges as well. Also, Bridges played 51 minutes, folks. 51 of a possible 53. He sat for 2 minutes. And remember, this is a guy that hasn't missed a game since high school. As we said, Brunson with huge threes and what would have been a monster basket at the end of regulation after a wonderful pass from Karl Anthony Towns, who did not have a great day. Despite that, the pass down low to Brunson, he gets off a bank shot as time expires, or at least close to time expiring, and it doesn't go down. Actually had 0.6 seconds remaining. Tatum did get off a shot at the end of regulation, but it wasn't close. So obviously they went to overtime. Brunson, 9 of 23 from the floor, but had 5 three-pointers and, again, had 29 points. Speaking of important three-pointers, how about OG Anunoby? Certainly making his presence felt on both sides of the ball. We know about the defense. For the first time in his career, OG scores more than 15 points against the Celtics. He hadn't done it yet. He scores 29, including 6 three-pointers, including several huge ones. On the Anunoby, again, had 29. Josh Hart, despite the foul trouble, was everywhere. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds. In fact, the Knicks had 12 offensive rebounds, which is impressive. until you realize that the Celtics had 19. So plenty of second chance points for the Celtics. Again, back to the threes, and kudos to the Knicks 3-point defense for sure. Jason Tatum, 4 of 15 from 3. Derek White, 5 of 16 from 3. Jalen Brown, 1 of 10. Amazing stuff. Even Al Horford, 1 of 5 off the bench. Drew Holiday, 2 of 7. And then there's Porzingis, who didn't even play, or at least not much after the first quarter. Still sick. Still not sure what the deal is with Porzingis, but especially down the stretch, the Celtics could have used Porzingis. Again, he played just 13 minutes, did not make a shot. Karl Anthony Towns was not a pretty night for him, despite the fact that he had the excellent pass to Brunson late in regulation and obviously huge rebounds late. 13 total rebounds for Cat, 4 offensive rebounds, had 14 points. Believe it or not, Cat was the leader in plus minus at +8 of all the Knicks starters. In fact, no Boston Celtic got to +8. So again, Karl Anthony Towns, despite the struggles, and there was one point where, at least on Twitter, Knicks fans wanted Karl Anthony Towns to the bench and Precious Achiuwa to come in. Of course, we had the Hack-a-Mitch segment of the game, which, for what it's worth, is just lame and boring and stupid. I would suggest that guys of Mitchell Robinson's ilk start practicing your free throws, and maybe it wouldn't be so silly. Deuce McBride hit 3 big threes. That was right in the middle of the game. He had 11 off the bench. As expected, Knicks bench, with the exception of McBride, not much. Precious actually played for the first time this postseason, played just 5 minutes. Mitchell Robinson, he played 21, but he was 3 of 10 from the line, and that was obvious and exactly why Boston was doing it. So, despite all the missed threes, the Knicks still had a chance via the free throw, but it was not pretty. 17 of 31. What's amazing is the Knicks on the road at one point trailed by 20. They missed 14 free throws and they still won. Tells you all you need to know about the grit and the heart and the comeback and the mentality of this team, which is exactly what they get from their leader, Jalen Brunson, who was the catalyst behind it all. By the way, for what it's worth, we told you about 51 minutes for Mikal Bridges. Cat only played 31. Obviously, there were foul trouble early and late. 5 for Cat. Brunson and Hart had foul trouble early. They both ended up with 4. Despite that, Bridges played 20 more minutes than Cat. 46 for OG, 44 for JB, and Josh Hart had 45 minutes played. But again, excellent stuff as the Knicks take a 1-0 series lead. And again, it is the first win against the Celtics this season. It's also the first time the Celtics and Knicks have met in the playoffs since 2013. It's been a dozen years. Now, as for the Eastern Conference Finals, we won't put anyone in it yet, but just some notes to keep in mind. Boston trying to reach the Eastern Conference Finals for the 4th consecutive season. Knicks trying to do it for the first time in 2.5 decades. The last time the Knicks went to the conference finals, 2000. It's now 2025, folks. So again, 2.5 decades since the Knicks last reached the Eastern Conference Finals. And what better way to start off this semifinal round than with a win? Knicks grab back the home court advantage, and they'll get at it for game 2 on Wednesday. We'll get to the schedule coming up. All right, we'll take a quick break. As we said, still have to break down the numbers. They were ugly on the Boston side, and we'll take a look at the schedule as well. All right, this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. The world has made a lot of progress when it comes to mental health, but there's still a long way to go. Too many people still avoid therapy because they're afraid of being judged. But the truth is, taking care of your mental health should be as normal as going to the gym or even eating healthy. This Mental Health Awareness Month, let's normalize getting help and encourage everyone to prioritize their well-being. Because when people feel supported, families, workplaces, and entire communities are better for it. It's not just about dealing with big problems. It's about maintaining your mental wellness, just like you do with your physical health. And with BetterHelp, getting started is easier than ever. It's fully online, has a network of over 30,000 licensed therapists, and you can switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. You can even easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost as well. We're all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, next up is Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all the money go? Well, between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending all in one place, so you just stop managing your money and start building your wealth. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. Now I budget smarter and save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your very first year. All right, it's perhaps my favorite part of the show. You know what time it is.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right, this is an interesting one because you figured Jalen Brunson, at least with his 29, or maybe even OG with his 29, would get the nod for player of the game today. It's going to Mikal Bridges, despite the fact that he struggled on offense, just 3 of 13. But a huge corner three ball that gave the Knicks the lead in overtime for good. And, of course, the defensive play of the night, stealing the inbound pass, not allowing the Celtics to get off the shot at 108-105 with 3 seconds remaining. It was lights out after that. Congrats to Mikal Bridges. You know he'll have difficulty sleeping tonight after finding out that he was this postcast's player of the game. All right, to the schedule now we go. Wednesday will be game 2. That too is a 7 p.m. tip time. Now, we have the tip times for all games except for game 5. We'll get to it. All right, so game 2 is Wednesday, 7 tip time. Saturday is game 3 back at the Garden. It is a 3:30 tip time, so a late afternoon affair in game 3 from the Garden. As for game 4, that will be Monday, a week from tonight, 7:30 tip time. Now, as for game 5, that'll be Wednesday, the following Wednesday. That too will be back in Boston. No word yet on that tip time. Obviously, it depends on where the other series end up. Friday would be game 6 in Boston, at the Garden. And then Monday, May 19th, would be game 7, if necessary, in Boston. So again, kudos to the Knicks, 108-105. They have grabbed a 1-0 series lead. Jason Tatum missed 16 shots. Jalen Brown missed 13 shots. Drew Holiday missed 7 shots. Derek White missed 12 shots. And again, the Celtics absolutely miserable from the floor and from 3. They were 34 of 97 from the floor, just 35%. And again, 15 of 60. They missed 45 three-pointers, and that's exactly why they lost. Another reason why is, despite the fact that we gave the Knicks credit for their three-point defense, they're always going to be open three-pointers. The Celtics just missed them, especially late first half, early third quarter. All right, as we said, game 2 will be Wednesday, and of course, we'll be with you immediately following game number 2. Thanks for making Locked On Sports New York your first listen today. For your second listen, check out Locked On NBA Game Night. Every game, every night until an NBA champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NBA Game Night on Locked On NBA on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also want to mention our partners in crime, Gavin Shull and Alex Wolf. They handle all the stuff at Locked On Knicks. They're the best, so follow, subscribe, and enjoy. 108-105. Knicks win it. What a performance down the stretch. At one point in the second half, the Knicks trailed by 20. They win by 3 in the extra session. Couple of notes worthy of re-mentioning. Mikal Bridges, 51 minutes. Jalen Brunson, 29 points. The Celtics, 45 missed three-pointers. That's a wrap. We'll see you immediately following game number 2 Wednesday night. Have a good night, everyone.